Welcome to the Books, Beards, Booze podcast, where we talk books, drink booze, and have beards.
All right.
Ooh, excessive.
As always, I'm Bob of Tales by Bob.
I'm the Ask the Podcast Derek.
I am Tonya.
Gotta keep things fresh. Gotta catch the listener by surprise.
You gotta
Get him like a lion in the dark.
Sometimes that all right is lackluster, and I feel like you've kind of made up for a few months worth of
lackluster, all right.
Yeah.
I don't know. That one still lacked luster. It was just
extended lusterlessness.
It drug the lacklusterness out.
It was just that it didn't ascend.
It wasn't crisp.
It was too.
It was a mealy apple.
Yeah,
and
sure.
not a crisp apple.
Well,
okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. We need to get
all
Matthew.
right.
Is that a goal for the podcast? We get Matthew McConaughey on here to do our introduction.
That dude's crazy. We might could get him to do it.
I really want to try his whiskey.
Right.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, so that's
Not because it's his, just because it's whiskey.
Well, it's like a Texas bourbon kind of deal, like a black barrel Texas bourbon or something like that. Mesquite bourbon barrel. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, so I just found out that there's a distillery, a big old whopping distillery opening in Birmingham called Dread River Company.
Nice.
And they're going to be doing, they're opening their new distillery soon. Actually, their grand opening is on Monday, I think. So, of course, I'll be at work.
So, in about 5 years, we'll have some whiskey from them?
Well, they've been a company. This is their new...
Oh, okay.
Their new location. So, but yeah, so that's exciting. Dread River Company. Go check them out on the gram. That's where I follow them, on the gram. But all right, so this is our monthly short read episode with 2 stories picked by
me,
Tonya.
By me.
So if you hated them, blame her. If you loved them,
if you hated them, blame Bob, who said, Tonya, you have to pick some stories.
Well,
let's.
Okay. I feel like we should address the fact that the last time she picked something, she picked Ready Player One.
I did not pick Ready Player One.
Tanya,
Yeah.
you picked Ready Player One.
No,
look,
here,
Tonya.
no, stop.
Even if you didn't pick Ready Player One in the lore of this podcast,
no.
it's
I picked
canon.
Emergency Contact, and then
You convinced us that hey, we all have emergency contact. We should read it.
no. Emergency Contact, no, y'all, Derek, I gave it.
Ready Player One. I mean,
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what happened.
No.
yeah, I'm almost positive
I
that's
don't
what
want
happened.
to be responsible for
But
that trailer.
Tanya,
It
just
was so
accept.
bad.
Just accept.
Well, look.
People make mistakes.
So
Tanya,
here's the
accept
thing.
the
I'm redeeming
responsibility.
myself because these short stories are
Well,
great.
here's the thing, though. We typically jerk off the books that we do.
Yeah.
Pretty much, like all the other books we've liked.
Yeah,
you
Kings
know,
of the
like
Wild.
so. This way, we
yeah.
can be like, no, we don't necessarily like every book. We can point to this one as like, oh, hey, you want to see a book that we didn't like? Here's what you would get.
Or Dune.
Well, Dune is only on YouTube, so most people probably won't.
Y'all
so.
should go to Tales by Bob on YouTube and
Yeah, if you want to hear
hit that Dune episode.
hear my soul slowly leave my body in sadness.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, okay. So the short stories this month are both Ray Bradbury stories.
Yes.
And they are All Summer in a Day and The Veld.
Yes.
I've never read Ray Bradbury.
And neither had Bob, right?
I haven't read Fahrenheit 451. I'm almost positive, though, that I've read short stories of his. I've not read a novel, but I used to read a lot of like short story collections, so
Right. There's probably Bradbury in there
that were
too.
like from his time period and sci-fi collections, like best sci-fi anthology 27 and stuff
Right.
like that. So I'm sure that I have. I'd have to look at the full list of his short
yeah,
stories.
yeah.
So, but I had not read either of these. Oh, I liked them.
What'd you
They were
think?
awful. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I could tell you liked them.
Uh,
Because you wouldn't say they were awful and then smile the way you did and be like, no, I'm just kidding.
I liked one of them a lot more than the other.
Me too.
Uh,
Let's talk about All Summer in a Day.
okay, talking about that one first.
Okay.
It's the shorter
It's
of the
the
two.
shorter of the two.
My favorite thing about it was the way in which he described Margot.
Yeah.
The way he describes her, like she like bleached out, like a sun
Like a
bleached
faded
book.
photograph
yeah,
kinda
like,
thing, yeah.
Like it, just like the way the lack of sun has seemingly wilted her.
Yeah.
away kind of deal. Like I loved how because like neither one of these stories are like super descriptive of they're descriptive of the location, but not the people.
Right.
Like that's really the only time in either story that we get a description.
It's not
of
relevant.
The person.
Yeah.
But it does a really good job. And
I really liked
that.
how he was describing the planet Venus, about how it was all like white and looked like the moon and old cheese and just kind of like, I was imagining the kids running around and it's just kind of like squeaking, like that wet rubber kind of squeak.
But did rubber too, yeah.
It was like rubbery. I just
didn't it start to grow? Like,
it growed. It would grow so quickly because the rains would beat it down, and so the rains had paused, and it was just like growing rapidly,
like octopoid tentacles. I think it said kind of deal.
Of course, she likes octopus.
Yeah. Ugh. So that I'll say this, like that's something you don't really see in fantasy in sci-fi these days very much, but was real. Like I remember when I was younger. I read some books that this featured in. But they were books from before my time. But like Venus as a jungle planet used to be a very common trope in sci-fi. Yeah, I've read books
before they realized that the rain was like acid.
Yeah, like it was like in like classic sci-fi, Venus is a jungle planet. You know, cloud like beneath the layer of clouds, it's jungles and rains and yada yada yada. And I remember reading one kind of like military sci-fi-ish one where they basically ride around on hovercraft with like flamethrowers to beat back the jungle kind of deal. So that was kind of neat, kind of like a little throwback to because now that science is caught up, we know that that is not the case. So
that was one thing I was wondering because I was reading it going, this doesn't seem like what Venus would be like, but I'm not a space guy, so I was like, am I wrong? I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, there's seemingly no life on there.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have plants and shit.
But then I was sitting there, I was like, I don't know, they terraformed that shit? I don't fucking know.
Well, that is the thing. They could have terraformed. Like, and that's something else. Like, the fact that it rains for 7 years seems like that's a product of terraforming to me. Like, the 7-year rain with just a 2-hour window.
Yeah.
That just seemed like a terraform-esque kind of deal. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah.
I liked how Margot seemed to really portray, in my mind, like a very accurate depiction of interacting with other people while you're depressed kind of thing. Because, I mean, I don't know, that's just kind of the impression that I got. Because, I mean, she remembers what the sun looks like. She lived on Earth. And to come there and to be sad about her current surroundings and have other people not be like, well, why the fuck are you so sad? Yeah. It's really not that big a deal.
It kind of, to me, made me think of like seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah,
like just like
you need
the
some
rain
sunshine.
Literally making her sad, and everyone else, they just don't know no better.
Yeah, that's why I liked the end. My favorite part was just the end where like it doesn't come out and say it, but all the other children are gonna probably start acting like her because now they understand what it's like to have the sun taken away.
Yeah, well, that's why like they're coming in, they go, oh,
yeah,
Margot.
Yeah,
and then they all kind of like are shits,
and they all
they realize like they have done a terrible thing because how great was it for that 2 hours?
Yeah, and I also really like there's a line in there where the little boy like pushes her, and I can't remember exactly how it was phrased, but something like
she allowed herself to be pushed,
moved, but
only by him. Kind of thing.
Only like basically implying like physically he moved her. But that did not even really like emotionally that did not move her in any way because like that was nothing compared to what her life is.
Yeah,
I thought that was a really well crafted line.
Yeah,
well crafted. I can't remember it exactly.
Yeah.
So
well, there were a lot of descriptions and the way he turned phrases in this short story that I thought was really nice.
Can we address the teacher? For a moment.
How you not going to do a head count, bitch?
Yeah. Not going to do a head count? And
there couldn't have been that many fucking kids in that class.
Right? And here's my only quibble. Like, the teacher being a shit, that's just life.
Yeah.
My only quibble is, where are the other kids? Like, is there only one class in this entire colony? Or is this just like 3rd grade? Is there a 4th grade somewhere? Are they like I was just kind of wondering about that.
In my head, I kind of just assumed that this was the only gaggle of children.
Well, they're all the thing is they're all 9 years old.
Well, because they got like conceived on the
But Margot didn't.
Because her parents came over when Margot was born on Earth. I just in my head assumed that all of the rest of these were conceived in travel.
So did they?
Because they've never been to Earth.
Well, no. Here's my point. The only reason that her family was allowed to move was because Margot was the same age as every other kid? Was that a weird coincidence? I think it's more likely that this is just a
class,
grade. Like, this is a class. And I just wondered where the other students are.
Well, they probably just didn't mention them because it's not relevant for the story.
Yeah.
Could be.
It's a short story.
Because the point they're trying to make is all about the fact that these children don't know what they're missing out on. So
yeah.
And now they know.
You don't need to show the other people because they would have been old enough to actually kind of remember it. It would defeat the narrative construction.
And the younger kids.
Where it would show more people like Margot, so you don't want to do that because it reduces the impact.
How bad do you feel for Margot?
I feel okay for Margot. It sucks, but she finna leave in a year.
Yep.
True.
And they're going to be stuck for 7 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
She finna dip out.
I think now... Honestly, I kind of think now they maybe hate her more because she's going to go and they know what she's going back home to. Like, they got 2 hours of sun and she's going to go back to Earth where she can get.
Do you reckon they watched The Crow a lot? The movie The Crow?
Can't rain all the time.
Can't rain all the time.
But no,
he did.
I think it'll be rude.
He'd been dead.
Still
Spoiler
rude.
alert.
Still rude. God.
I never watched that movie. I just know he's dead.
What? That movie's a classic.
It was fantastic. Anyways, but I think like it's gonna be better because now they're not gonna treat her like shit.
I think
they know they know why she is the way she is, and they're just gonna be like, they'll all be kind of bummed out.
Yeah,
or
and I think in the short term they're gonna feel real terrible.
Yeah,
about what they did. Like they may end up a couple because kids' memories are short.
Yeah.
You know, maybe in a month that things go back, but even then, you know, like at that point. She's dipping.
Yeah. The way
Call
I look
her
at
Dot.
The way I look at it is they're just going to understand her better. Oh my God. They're going to understand her better for the time she's going to be there, and then she's going to leave, and they're going to stay. So it's like, it'll be a little bit better for her until she gets to leave.
I mean, it makes you like, would it, if you were like the teachers and stuff, would you even let them go out in the sun? Like the parents and whatnot?
Why wouldn't you?
Well, because if they're going to then just be depressed, if they're like, see, I would imagine this is probably not the first time this has happened.
Okay, but it's also like Christmas. Kids get kind of sad after Christmas because Christmas isn't gone
or
whatever.
You just don't tell them that in 7 years, it's a 2 hour window. Just every 7 years for a 2 hour window, distract the kids, and then they don't know what they're missing.
Wow,
that's awful.
That's harsh.
That's awful.
Well, I don't know. That's a strategy.
I mean, I see where you want to protect. Your hypothetical child
in this case, fuck them. Just let them stay out in the rain. I don't give a fuck. They're kids. They're awful.
Because it's just regular. In this story, it's just regular rain and not like acid
what
rain.
Kind of rain?
She's doing this on purpose,
Normal
Bob.
rain.
Wow.
Just regular rain.
But I didn't really have any problems with this story. Like, for real.
It.
Like, it was, short, concise.
Yep.
Got
that was
story
good. Yeah.
All right, so the Veld.
The Veld. This is the one that I liked the more of the two.
So this is what I want to address first off. Just
how this is perfect for her.
I want to point out that I just bought a house. My mortgage is for $6,000 more than what they paid for this house, and I don't have a 3D holographic room. I don't have a shoe tire. I don't have an auto bath scrubber. I don't have an egg cooker.
A table that.
Bob, but the point is, you don't want those things.
That is true. Well, I want some of those things.
You're like, no, I want those things in moderation.
Yeah, but it was.
I want those things to not be sentient.
I just thought it was so funny. Like, to me, I was like, wow, I just bought a house for more than this that literally has the only thing these houses have in common is
their houses.
That they're houses. Like that.
They will presumably keep rain off your head.
Yeah.
No, I loved it. I loved it because, Bob, you're really big on Alexas and things like that, and having the tech in your house. And I too, I think it's kind of cool. I want an automatic cat box scooper, so I don't have to do that.
For your lions?
Yes.
Yeah, I just thought you were gonna like it because
cats.
They got to get eaten by cats. I wish I could be eaten by cats.
That is the thing you said on this podcast. You want to be eaten by your cats.
No, that's the reason I keep them around. So if I choke to death on my food, they can scout my body. I don't want to be eaten by my cats. They're there like
that is
pet dung beetles.
I'm pretty sure beetles. That is directly opposed to what you've said in the past.
Okay, whatever. So. What I liked the technology.
Yeah.
But also, bitch, ain't nobody shining shoes no more. Like, you could tell that this was an older story because there are, some texts that just don't exist anymore. But I did really like that the mom kind of was having this crisis of sorts where she felt useless. Because we have all of this technology to do these things for us, which initially is like, great, now I have more leisure time. But then you're not the one running your household anymore.
Well, it takes away your meaning for existence. Yeah. You have no point of existence.
She's like, I'm not...
It stripped away her identity, because her identity was like, I'm the housekeeper, I'm the mother, and like, this house has taken those roles from her. She's no longer the housekeeper. Yeah. She's no longer... I mean, she's still technically the mom, but the kids don't...
She's not raising her kids.
She's not raising her kids anymore. So
she's not doing any of the caretaking.
It's stripped her of her identity. And, like, I think it's less noticeable with the dad, because I assume he has a job.
Yeah.
It never
says, I don't think.
But I assume
the implication
they had to have money to buy this house somehow.
Right.
Yeah.
So I assume if she's clearly the housekeeper, he's probably
works. But then they even mentioned that he's different.
Well, he is. Yeah. He's he's drinking more. But I think it's the reason he's not having quite the crisis is because he still has that. Well,
he
I have
has
a
something
job.
to.
Yeah, but he is losing out because he's like, well, I'm not the dad anymore, kind of deal. So it is affecting him. Just he has a little bit of a lifeline to cling to that the mom doesn't.
Well, that crisis of identity there is very common for parents, men and women, in relationships and in families and yada yada. So I liked that it was reflected in the story in a way that felt fairly relatable. I mean, I'm not a mom, I don't have kids or any of that stuff, but I could kind of see where, oh shit, who the fuck even am I? Because the things that she would use for her identity, she's not doing.
I liked the the whole hollow room kind of deal. That's a common trope. Right, I mean, you see it on Star Trek. And
it was even in Community,
where
Troy and Abed had
Troy and Abed, the what was that room called?
I don't know, Fun Room,
the Room of Wonder or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, the Funatorium. Funatorium.
Yes.
But no, the hollow deck, that's a very common trope. But the twist on this is they use it to track kids' psychological profiles, and that they have psychiatrists come into the room and
kind of help work through some
I thought that was
problems.
That was
really cool.
That was a neat twist on that.
Yeah.
So, and I thought it did a really good job, seeding little things. You kind of see that you know by reading the story that something is going to happen, and it provides enough clues so you kind of figure out what's going to happen. Now, I didn't see it quite exactly how it played out, but more or less figured lions gonna get got by lions.
You didn't foresee the kids tricking him into the room and
I thought that the thing I didn't see was the references to the screams being
their own
screams.
Yeah,
I just thought it was just generic.
I
screams.
Got the whole thing, but I still liked it because I liked the way it was done.
Yeah.
It was done really well, so I didn't mind.
Is the psychiatrist about to get et too, you reckon?
I
think so.
Think so, because now he knows. And he's going to question where the parents went, and he's going to... Because he was behind the encouragement of shutting it down and closing everything. Yeah. So I think the kids are like, you want some tea?
Yeah.
So feel every piece of these teeth. Nom, nom, nom.
So here's the thing. If the psychiatrist gets 8, and assuming that no one comes looking for him, this house can take care of the kids.
Yep.
And they have their entertainment.
Yep.
This kid is the boy is seemingly a genius since he edited the
room.
He tinkered with the room to where it made the lions real. So I think it's very possible that they more or less get away with this.
Yep.
Like, the house will keep them alive.
Because the kids are, I mean, everybody's at this point kind of used to the kids coming and going as they please without really having parental supervision.
How are they going to pay for it?
My thought was the kid, if the kid's smart enough to tinker with the machine to make the lions real, I was thinking maybe he would come up with a way. Like, now he's motivated to do that. Maybe he finds a way.
But see, the thing is his whole point was, I don't want to have to do anything. Yeah. Like, that was his whole thing. So if he has to do something just to keep this going, then what was the point? He's probably they're going to be in there for a week or two, and then people are going to come and it's going to end.
Yeah.
Because he can't. His whole idea was like, I don't want to have to tie my own shoes.
I don't want to do any of the work.
Any of the things. Why do I want to do anything other than experience the stuff?
Yeah.
And, maybe, I don't know how their jails are, but if their jails are anything like these nursery rooms, maybe he
gives zero fucks about it.
Because I'm sure honestly, they're probably going to be like, he's probably going to go to, not a jail, he's probably going to go to a mental institution,
room,
which is, I'm sure if they're using nurseries this way, they probably use similar technology for mental health care. So he's probably just going to a bigger, better, fancier version.
And then
but one that he won't control.
Oh, but he'll find a way to control it, and it'll turn into a horror book.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, yeah, that's a follow-up.
I'd read that.
Yeah, I'd read the fuck out of that.
No, like...
We got Silence of the Lambs over here. Like, what the fuck?
Some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
That was, that he ad-libbed that?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But no, I could definitely see where the draw of having like a self-contained entertain your own kids kind of room, because I mean we do that now, just with different technology.
Well, when this story was written, you got to think like TVs were becoming more and more prominent, and they're the idea of TV parenting was
still a thing.
I don't know if it was quite a blown up issue at that point as it is more like as in our generation, but I'm sure it was on people's mind. So this is probably a reflection of that.
Well, I mean, like, I know that the story was written before our current tech, but it still felt like a lot of similarities where you've got folks like, fucking 2-year-old, you're annoying, here, take an iPad, go. Yeah. Just go be...
Well, if you think about it, the tech, we could somewhat duplicate it now, if you think about it. Like,
not the thoughts part.
Well, no, because... So the idea of it is it's supposed to like if the kid's feeling stressed, like do more soothing kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like you could put basically put a Fitbit on the kid to monitor their heart rate and stuff like that, and then just like you have TV screens for walls and
Well, and they're already kind of configuring Alexa and Google Home to be like, if you sound congested when you tell her something, she'll suggest that maybe, would you like for me to order Kleenexes and Robitussin?
Daddy, would you like some sausages?
Yeah.
Sausages?
Yeah. Or because they'll it's not technology that's live right now, but it's something that's in the works where, like if you sound stressed or sick or something, it's kind of suggestive selling, but also billed as, hi, we're here to help you. But it feels, to me, this Veld story and our current pervasive Internet of Things kind of stuff.
I think that's what I liked the most about it, was that it very accurately, the means of getting to this point is the means of why people are feeling the way they are in this book opposed to reality doesn't really matter to me. The end result's what matters to me, and it's basically the same. It's like people are not parenting their children. They're getting out of hand.
They're letting devices
do things they shouldn't.
Yeah.
People are having a crisis of meaning because they don't have an idea of who they are, because the world is too easy and they don't have to participate in it anymore for the most part. Like, all that stuff is things that I think about a lot and go over a lot when I'm doing my online things.
Yeah.
And the fact that it addressed those so far ahead of now was just really interesting to me. And it didn't do it in a way that made it seem unrealistic.
Yeah.
Like it just seems like, this is what happens.
Yeah. Like we don't have shoe shiners, but we have analogous
Roombas.
Things. Yeah. God, I want a Roomba so bad.
But it's just like you have all these things that create the same situation.
Yeah.
And I've seen other instances where they treat this like it's like grossly out there. Like, oh, this is like
this could never happen. Look how fantastical this could be.
Yeah, but then it's like, no, man, it's literally happening right now.
Yeah.
To this extent, no, and we're not going to get eaten by lions. But look, shit happens, and this is something to be aware of.
You say that, but I recently learned that there are more tigers in Texas than there are in the rest of the world combined.
Did you seriously not know that?
I did not. I don't
see, and that's
don't they have like a preserve or something out there?
I don't know.
The things you learned from Joe Rogan.
But I also learned this. So I looked up the King Ranch. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of King Ranch, but you may have seen
it's a truck.
King Ranch Ford. All right. Well, it's King Ranch is this. It's a ranch out in Texas that is so big it makes up most of like 3 counties, and it's one ranch. It's massive. It's like a million-acre ranch or something like that.
Texas is all desert.
It is not.
Not even
100% all desert.
Well, but I can't remember the name of this creature, but they imported this type of antelope from like India or Indonesia. I can't remember where, but like they brought this in. Like there's now a like natural population of these things in Texas. Like so, there's like 20,000 of the things roaming around in Texas.
How bizarre!
Yeah, it was neat. It's kind of a funny looking antelope. It's like It's thick. It's a thick antelope with nubby little horns.
I love it.
Like imagine like an antelope and a cow kind of merged, kinda. A little bit. It's neat.
So kind of like a svelte rhinoceros. Is kind of what I'm imagining in my head.
Not at all.
Just give it to her, Bob. Just let it go.
Not at all.
Yeah, I enjoy these stories. I like how Bradbury was able to write about these sci-fi futures, but in a way that still feels
rooted in humanity.
Yeah.
Well, because like if you think about it, like I imagine part of his motivation, like this was written in a time when they're vacuum cleaners and like all these like inventions around the home. They're supposed to make home life easier,
microwaves,
microwaves, stuff like that. And I'm sure that there was all this stuff like like the thinking was like, oh well, all these women they're going to lose their identity because there's not going to be any homemaking left to do, and then of course they do the studies and they find out that women spend more time cleaning now than they did like 10 years earlier.
Plus we have other things we have to do now too. It's not just cooking and cleaning now.
Right. But no, like it was just kind of So but that issue is still so relevant today, and now the technology is kind of caught up. So if anything, this story is more relevant now than when it was written then.
Yeah.
It's just sign of craftsmanship.
Well, he does similar things in his novel work as well.
You saying he's got some novel ideas?
Yes.
Shut it.
But like Fahrenheit 451. Y'all haven't read it, but it is.
I read the wiki.
Yikes. But it's supposed to be set in this like future where books are not good and yada yada. And at the time, at the time it was published, perhaps kind of hard to imagine that being a real thing. But, here we are with, in it, I know that it's not a new thing where books are banned, specific types of books are banned. But if anything, I feel like we have so much information now that the book burning seems more possible because we have abundance of books.
To me, it seems less possible because the cat's out of the bag pretty much on that one. Like, go burn a bunch of books. Odds are all those books
I don't mean
are
like
already
physical
on the
books, but now
censorship.
But now but now everything's on the internet, and all it takes to shut down to quote burn the books is just turn the websites off or to replace it. Now there are so many, quote, books and options for information. How do you know where the real information is? And
you ask me.
It is very easy.
Oh, God, don't do that.
Ask me how to pronounce any word.
And the taxonomy of plants. Yes.
Yes, ask me about vegetables sometimes. I got to
Shut up.
At D&D the other night. I got to use my
and that's why you died. That's why you died again.
Yeah. So 2 sessions in a row, my character has died. Rip Boots, the Goblin Ranger, and now Rip Toes, the Kobold Artificer.
Perhaps you need to be like hands and fingers instead. Arms and shoulders instead of knees and toes.
Perhaps I need to not be underneath carrion crawlers when they fall off the roof.
And don't get vomited on.
And don't get vomited on to death.
Yes.
Yuck. It's been very ignominious ends for my character. Like, it's not even that. It's like they didn't go down fighting a dragon. No, one literally got vomited on to death, and the other had a carrion crawler fall off the roof, and my brother hit the carrion crawler so hard that the excess damage transferred to me.
Great.
Yeah.
But in his defense, he wanted to kill you secretly.
True. He had a secret goal the whole campaign to kill me. So it worked out quite well.
Well for him.
But shitty
Good for the story.
Yeah.
So the only thing I didn't like about the Veld was those typos. Yeah. I couldn't find a better version of that anywhere.
But since you mentioned it, I managed to get past it.
That didn't bother me because we had one other story that we did that was like that in season 1.
I don't remember which one.
I can't either. But there was one that we had that problem in season 1. That there was just a story that just
the best one we could find had typos.
It was one. Yeah. It was one that you picked. Was it signed? No. Was it a Story of an Hour?
It was either that or. It might have been the Flannery O'Connor, the Good Man It's Hard to Find.
That's what it was. It had a bunch of typos because that was just the best version we could find.
Yeah, and it was a longer story, so
that's whatever. Yeah. Well, I hope that y'all enjoyed those.
Yeah. I hope our listeners dug on them. Next month we're going cyberpunky. I picked us 2 cyberpunk stories, and that'd be a good time. I should reread Neuromancer, and maybe me and you can.
We should. I would also, because I want to get brand ambassador Ryan's opinions on it as well.
So I'm wondering if maybe I could remote him in somehow.
Maybe. But I do know that I've decided, and I don't know that I've mentioned this to you. I think I mentioned this to you, that I'm going on a sci-fi kick. I've never done sci-fi. Yeah. I've done this sci-fi. I'm going to finish Deathstalker. I'm going to go with the next book.
Don't do The Quantum Thief. I just did the audiobook of that. Maybe I would have liked it more if it wasn't an audiobook. I don't know. But I was like, I looked for sci-fi heist stuff. This is what everyone recommended and did not like it. To me, it was almost like Gardens of the Moon. Like, the learning curve on it was just so intense that I spent more time trying to figure out what was going on than being able to enjoy. Like, there'd be little parts of it that I was like, oh, this is fucking great. And then it's like, oh, well, now I get an hour of trying to figure out what's going on because they're using, like,
terms that have no
the term
basis.
Gevalot. Yeah, exactly. But they use that word like a shit ton before they ever explain what it is. And even then, you only get like a little hint of what it is, and then you have to learn more about it. But it's not like to me, it was for no reason. Like in Malazan, like the information they withhold most of the time.
It seems like it's not for a purpose.
There's 4 reasons. But like what Gevalot is basically personal privacy screens. Basically, like everyone walks around with a Gevalot system. And but they just don't explain it, and you spend so much time trying to figure out what the fuck they're talking about. And just
I had kind of that problem to some extent with Neuromancer.
Yeah,
like they would just mention a thing, and I would be able to, over the course of a few chapters and then mentioning it repeatedly, kind of figure out kind of what it is. But even so, I don't.
Yeah. Well, I think Neuromancer and this had the same problem. Like, the reason why it's because they were inventing something that, like, like I could see where, like, maybe in the future other sci-fi books use Gevalot as a thing. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that becomes a thing. But like so much of like Neuromancer, like ice is very much a thing in cyberpunk lore. But like it comes from Gibson. Like,
But see, and that was one by like halfway through the book I understood what it was. But when they mentioned it the first, no, that was one that we mentioned the first time I understood.
Yeah,
but
they would there's say other things, stuff like that.
But they would say things like brand names of consoles and stuff like that, and I'm like, cool. But if you're going to use them, like, you kind of make it sound like it's relevant. Like, is this a high quality or is this a low quality? Like,
you don't have a point of reference.
Yeah. So, and that bothered me to some extent. Again, not enough for me to slow down. I just kept going. Yeah. But normal me, I would have kind of slowed down and be like, whoa, what are we doing here?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So next month, Cyberpunk. Woo!
Yeah.
And you'll get our Jade City next month as well.
Yes.
And Jade War will be out soon.
Yes.
Next month.
So excited.
August? Question mark?
No, it's one
June.
of the J's.
Yeah. June, I think.
July?
June or July 1. Yeah. I forget which.
All right. Well,
Sometime.
on that note, in the coming week, as you sip from... Well, shit. There. Okay, we're switching to the chandelier. It's going to be Red Solo Cup. But in the coming week, as the gentle curvature of the light fixtures that light your way from the hallway into the kitchen, I hope that it is relatively dust-free, all your bulbs work, and it gives a warming glow that is pleasing to the eye.
These are so
warming glow,
weird.
kind of like the blessing of the...
Yeah, and may the blessing of the beard be upon you.
Okay, bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Books, Beards, Booze. Our co-hosts are Bob, Derek, and Tonya. Our producer is Bob. For more information, visit our website, booksbeardsbooze.com. Follow our social media at Tales by Bob. If you enjoyed this podcast, please rate, subscribe, and share. Okay, bye.